Hello collective, welcome to the channel. It is August the 9th, 2025, and we're going to check in with Spirit to get a collective message. Thanks for being here, everybody. I hope you're doing well. It's a little warm outside. I got the fan on. If you're sound sensitive, you may want to use closed captions. Collective energy, please. Spirit, collective energy. What storyline would you like to share with the collective, please, Spirit? Storyline for the collective. All right. In the central energy. Well. The wheel has turned. The wheel has turned. Nobody can stop it. It's doing what it's gonna do. In the challenge position. Five of Wands. Chariot. So you have a victory. You have a victory in this conflict. Moving away from conflict. There's conflict, making a journey. You're very determined. In the subconscious, Two of Pentacles. There's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts. In the recent past, well, that came out and slipped into the reverse. So we've got strength in the reverse. Somebody's in low energy, prideful, intentions and expectations. Moving forward. Preparations. This weakness could be an enterprise. There could be an enterprise. It might be expanding. A weakness may be expanding. In the near future, something's happening very quickly. Swift communication, swift change, sudden action. The lens that's being looked through. New beginning. In the environment, we've got Lovers reversed. There's a detachment. Somebody's being detached. There's some kind of disharmony here. Somebody's afraid to commit. Hopes and fears. King of Wands. And the outcome, Hermit, shining a light on stuff, doing some meditation, introspection. King of Swords has the truth here. He could have mental clarity regarding Knight of Swords, or he's very brave and rushing forward. He's got his sword up. A wish come true. He's fighting this wish come true. And then we've got Mr. Romance is in a Five of Pentacles, because the Sun knows the truth about the High Priestess. There's a rebirth for the High Priestess. The sun is shining on this divine feminine. And they have to walk away. Yeah. So there's a Page of Cups that's disappointed. They got to walk away from this Four of Wands union. They're in a nightmare regarding it. The fact that you could stand up for yourself and maintain control. They're in a Tower. The fact that you are resilient and courageous is in a Tower. And it could be their confidence is in a Tower. Take it as it resonates. It could be those who are bringing conflict to you are leaving. They're going somewhere. So we got the Wheel of Fortune here. The cycle has turned. This is a new cycle. King of Cups. Turning point for the love of divine masculine. It's like whoever was bringing rivalry or whoever was fighting with the divine masculine are what? They're leaving. Divine masculine is fighting in this competition and has a victory here. Lots of things going on here with the Two of Pentacles for the Sun. Making some decisions, negotiating. I've heard say he's very reasonable. You know, he's like wanting something to be beneficial for all, but there's others out there who don't want it to be beneficial for all. They want it all and they don't want anybody to have it. So unfortunately, it's like their intentions will be their gift. So that's what the divine also stated. If their intentions are to make an example out of you, then they will probably be made an example out of. If their intentions are to destroy you, then they will probably be destroyed. It's like karma is like answering instantly right now. Somebody doesn't have any strength, they don't have any courage, they're in low energy. There could be punishment. Raw emotion. There is punishment. They were unfair. They lack accountability. There's preparations being made. Some kind of forward movement into love. So we're moving into love. Love might be spreading around the world. And we've got the Eight of Wands. It could be happening very quickly. Proposals. Somebody's making a quick decision. They're trying to make a proposal. They want to make an example out of somebody. Be wary of anybody coming into your life right now. The divine stated that anybody approaching you in this particular realm is most likely not for you. Not right yet. You've got a new beginning happening here. King of Swords. mental clarity. The Lovers is in the reverse. Somebody made some bad choices. You're being detached. Yeah, they're being detached from the star. Somebody, there's no more love opportunity with the stars. Nope. They're in disharmony with the star, and they're not going to get another union with the star. These ones have been vilifying and slandering those who have the light of the sun in them. They actually, today, somebody actually called them Lucifer and Lilith. So light-bearing people who come together in union have been slandered ridiculously by low vibrational F-boys feeding light to a black hole soul. We've got the King of Wands overcoming challenges. Nine of Wands. Faith has been tested. He's very resilient. We got the Hermit here, doing some research perhaps, shining a light on the love of Queen of Cups. There might be some kind of contemplation, soul searching regarding the love of feminine and the new beginning. Somebody might be here searching, doing research on divine feminine. Yeah. Wanting a financial opportunity, difficult decisions to be made. They've been fighting with this devil. It could be that whoever has been fighting with this devil or for this devil, this shadow, this black hole soul or whatever, they're being detached, disappointed, and walking away. Disconnected. Because the Queen of Wands is leaving home. She's out of here. She's coming into the fruits of her labor, and she's getting chased down. And it could be, that she's been dealing with being chased down by these dominator, tyrant masculines who've been wielding their wand as a freaking weapon. They're in a painful ending here. They've been defeated by the earth angels who are going home because they maintained balance. So now you're getting a wish come true. And again, we've got research into love unions. They could be lit up together. And this is an end of that cycle. We've got we got the Queen of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Queen of Swords moving forward here in their chariot, victorious. Divine Feminine is victorious. I'm not talking about somebody who claims to be the only one, and if they claim that, then that also means they're responsible for the sex trafficking and the brutalization of children. If they've been here all the while and they've been making deals with this shadow to feed it light, then that means they're not divine. They would like to think of themselves as such because they've gotten away with harming people of light for a long time. They call them what I've just said, and it's just not true. The stories they have concocted are false. has turned. There's a change here. There's destiny for the wheel has turned on the destiny for divine masculine, the love of divine masculine. Trust. The divine masculine who is trusting the inner voice guiding them correctly, connected to source divine. We've got conflict here. So there's conflict, there's tension. You've been fighting and you could have had a victory over it. You're leaving it behind. You're leaving this conflict behind. You were fighting, somebody was trying to compete with you, and you're hopping in that chariot and you're taking off. You're this master magician. You're using your willpower. You're like out of there. You're going on a journey. You're sending forth your magic successfully. And of course your enemy is going to say, that's my read. And of course you are saying, that's my read. And I guess we're just going to find out whose it is, right? I mean, you can go ahead and claim it if you want. Somebody's weighing their options here, or it could be that there has been adaptability when it comes to managing multiple things by the sun. There could be some negotiations happening with those who did not grow. Somebody doesn't have any strength. They're in strength reversed. There is punishment for dishonesty. They were unfair. Oopsie. Guilt. These people are still trying to project their own personality and persona onto you. It's like, and it's so wild to me. They attack, and you're not doing nothing. You're sitting here like doo-ba-doo, going to the sunflower festival, buying flowers, getting dog treats, being at peace with the sun and the warm weather. And you got these people throwing darts at you, trying to stick malice onto you, trying to stick their venom onto you, trying to stick their nastiness onto you. They're like, that's you! And it's like, excuse me, you know, I'm just out here enjoying the sun. I don't really want to talk to you. You know, whatever. So you're moving forward into love. Those people who were siphoning the love out of you, they're being punished. They've been found guilty and they're being punished. Service. You are here in service to others, and nobody wants your light around. These low vibrational beings do not like the energy of your light. They vilify it, slander it, make up demon stories about it. They swear that the Mother, Father, God, Goddess, creators of all that is, are demons, that they don't exist, that they're actually their enemies. And they are, because these low vibrational people actually feel pain in the presence of a tremendous amount of light. So they make up, you know, stories for their enemies. It's like light-bearing people came to help elevate the lower vibrational ones into a higher status, and rather than do the work, they decided to attack them, trap them, and siphon the energy out of them, claiming that they were evil and they didn't have a right to life. Apparently, there's a lot of dark forces that support them. I did not know. And I still don't. I don't know so much. Indecision. So there's quick decisions being made. There's a Knight of Cups, Prince Charming. He's like, he doesn't know who to tap into. We've got the new beginning for the, look, we got the wheel turning for divine masculine, that you can trust the love of divine masculine. This is a central energy. The wheel is turning. You're going to be, there's the love of divine masculine, King of Cups. Then you can trust it. Here we've got new beginning for the King of Swords. He has mental clarity here. Truthful and honest. Empathy in the reverse. He knows the truth about who has empathy, who isn't. Maybe he doesn't have any empathy for these people here that have been found guilty. He's disconnecting them from the star. He's disconnecting them from the star. If they don't have any empathy, they do not get to attach themselves to this light force. Yeah, if they don't have any empathy, they cannot attach to the light force. They will have to go away. They've been feasting on the light, the people, the humanity. They've been feasting on them for centuries, laughing at their pain. They've denied the Most High Mother, Father, God, Goddess, creators of everything. They insist that they don't exist. They're afraid. They're afraid of your light. They want to squash your light. They don't care about your light. They don't care about you, so they don't get to connect with you. They've been bringing, they're misaligned. They're misaligned. They're envious. They're envious, and they think you should be punished. They're under judgment, and they're being denied. No more connections with you. They can't siphon your light. They can't use your gifts. They can't tap your mind or your sacral essence. They failed in their adversity. King of Wands is here, overcoming challenges. He's very resilient. He's got his boundaries up. Persistent. He's not messing around. Friendship. We've got research for the Queen of Cups, shining a light on the Queen of Cups. And her purpose, her divine purpose. She knows what she's here to do. Soul searching, meditating, emotionally stable. Yeah, somebody failed to move it. Yeah, somebody's getting denied. They failed. They're in denial. They have failed, and they're under judgment. These people getting disconnected from the light of you, Queen of Cups, are under, death. So the judgment is death. You were courageous. You have the gifts of the soul that benefit yourself and others. You were grateful for life even when it was difficult, and even when these envious people were bringing a whole big world full of adversity toward you. There's a change here. They have to accept responsibility for their own well-being. The negativity is being purged from the foundation. We're moving into a period of peace and love. They're in regret over messing with your mind. Oh, they have to accept the things they cannot change. Look, their pride is in the reverse. Their pride is hurt by your inner harmony and the fact that you bring balance and harmony and beauty wherever you go. Perfect balance. So it's winding down. Somebody stated to make an example out of her. So they're bringing forward whatever heavy hitters that they have been hiding. They didn't think it was going to be necessary, but they're finally calling them forth. And it's not that I want this, okay? I certainly don't. But I also understand that they're not going to stop, and they need to be brought to the light. They need to be exposed for what they've been doing, for what they've been hiding. They've been claiming superiority while punishing the children of light. Babies even. Man, this ain't right. That's not godly. That's not saintly. That's not good. Room. So the room is the mind. The wheel is turning. We've got the love of divine masculine. So now love of divine masculine is here, like we've got the inner voice. So the telepathic communications in the mind from the masculine it's changing now. The wheel is turning. It's like they're claiming this space. I heard divine say that the sky belongs to the sun. So they're reclaiming the field of telepathic communications. There's a whole bunch of rivalry going on, and they're in the chariot victorious. They're using their willpower successfully. This is a successful magician fighting magicians. But this magician is of the light. He carries the embodiment of the sun in him. He's successful and the love. So he's got all this light, all this love. Widower. There's the Two of Pentacles here in the subconscious. Negotiations with the Sun. Negotiations regarding a rebirth. There could be negotiations happening regarding those who did not grow in consciousness or awareness. A rebirth for those who did not grow in consciousness and awareness, like they got to start over and do it again. They're not allowed to bring despair. They're in low energy. There's a punishment here for the guilty. The need for vengeance is in the history. They did not gain their wings. They did not grow. They've been bringing despair to people, and that's being stopped. So you're moving forward into love and service, feeling good when you can help others, not set them up for failure and tear them down. Not destroy their life because you don't think they deserve to live, simply because you can't stand their presence. They're not doing nothing to you. Those babies did not do anything to anybody. Lover. Moving forward into love and loving very swiftly. We've got a Knight of Cups, Mr. Prince Charming, that doesn't know what to do. Indecision regarding conversation. There's some gossip. People are talking. People are talking to you. What the heck? There's a new beginning here. King of Swords knows the truth regarding those who lack empathy. And there's no pleasure seekers, like they lack empathy, so there's no pleasure seekers allowed. He's cutting them out. Lovers reversed, those who have they have misaligned values with the star. They're actually in fear of the star, so they're being disconnected. They're afraid of being committed, so they latch onto it, to the star essence, and then they feed it to their black hole soul, and then they get like 50%, and then they feed on that body, that life form, for their life. Like they decrease their energy, they suck it right out of them, they harvest it during their life. So they get fat, they get sick, they get depressed because their vibration, their frequency has been falsely interrupted. Feasted upon by vampires. And when they say they love you, they simply mean they want to eat you and make you suffer for existing. Service. They could be afraid of the services that you're going to provide. It's going to increase the light of the planet. These low vibrational people can't survive in that energy. It actually brings them pain. There's a reason they got rid of the bells, that frequency of the ring. They got rid of it all because that also brought them pain. These are very low vibrational people. They don't have light in them, and they cannot stand sounds like bells. Service to the sweetheart. They fear the service of this sweetheart. Star. They wanted to stop this person. So the King of Wands is here, overcoming challenges, and we've got Nine of Wands. Persistent. We got friends, and we got cheerfulness. There's research going on, or some kind of they've got the truth, they know the wisdom, they found the wisdom, the truth about the Queen of Cups and their purpose. Somebody's in their thoughts. Letter in the reverse. They didn't get the letter, they're not getting an invitation. They're in their thoughts. The Queen of Cups isn't inviting them. They're in their thoughts. They ignored the letter. They didn't heed the warning, the message. There's research here about the love of Divine Feminine and their purpose. They're sick over it. They're sick over it. There's a doctor and a merchant. Sighing. They're sighing over this wife. They're in melancholy. There's a young woman who's in melancholy. She's sad. There's a scholar priest here. And we've got death and journey to prison. There's a soldier in the house. A soldier in the house. So the soldiers in the house are getting dead because of this reunion here. Somebody was trying to steal the gift, posing as a friend. It could have been a friend of the Lord. Now these ones were talking about a Levite and the tabernacle. I Googled it. Apparently only priests and Levites were supposed to be in the presence of this tabernacle. And apparently somebody stole it. And honestly, I think the Levite or whatever was divine feminine. And they stole this person, perhaps replacing them with a clone, and then driving the reputation into the ground while causing the original to suffer. A friend of the Lord did this to the sweetheart wife. And now they're sending, they got a message, so now they're like praying about it. They were a constant foe, a servant causing misfortune to people. And now their prideful ones are surprised. All their surprises are coming up out of the water. What they did against joyful, happy people for money. Yeah, with the hope of gaining money. This false enemy with children. You're innocent. They're waiting on this wedding. Apparently there's a wedding. They're sick over love. They're like totally sick. Love makes them sick. Happiness makes them sick. High vibing energy makes them sick. They can't stand it. They say that it's Lucifer, and how dare you shine like that. They got to take that energy out of you because it makes them sick. It causes them pain. They can't function. And they certainly don't want you getting attention. Because look, they're an envious imposter. Professional widowers, they would get married to the star and then sacrifice them. They're in agreement with whatever low vibrational entity rules this world, and it certainly does not like women, especially sweet, loving, high-vibing women. You know, they really like the ones who attack, you know, the queens of cups, sweethearts. They love those people because they're low vibrational and they inflict pain into the world and suffering. Look, we got safe space. So there's so the wheel is turning. We've got love of divine masculine, the king of cups here. So the room is the mind, and he's making it so that the messages that are received here in the mind are coming from a safe space. So the mental body is going to be a safe space. You're going to be able to trust the messages that you are hearing. It's not going to be some infiltrator trying to lead you down a path of incoherence. So the love of divine masculine is creating a safe space in the field of consciousness for humanity. So the challenge is that there's a lot of disagreement here. People are disagreeing with his victory. People are disagreeing with what he's doing. But he's moving forward anyway. He's manifesting, and he's doing it successfully. And there's a widower here. Grapevine. So the grapevine card says, I heard something you're going to be interested in. And so they're not interested in anything that a widower has to say. They don't want to talk to this professional widower. They're not listening to the rumors of professional widowers. So there's negotiations going on with the sun regarding those who did not grow or expand in consciousness and awareness. They're not allowed to bring despair to you anymore, and they're really mad. They want to make an example out of this Queen of Cups, who is here in her purpose. They don't have any strength. There's punishment here. They've been found guilty. They did not earn their wings. And anything that suggested that they did was a lie. Gift. They were taking the wings. They were guilty. They were guilty of clipping the wings and the happiness of the gift. Flipping them into South Node. So you'd marry them thinking everything was great, and then they'd flip you into South Node. They'd sabotage you. Because they're an imposter that you had welcomed into your safe space. So you're moving forward into love. They know that you're doing this. They knew that this day was coming. You're moving forward into service, helping others in love and happiness. Love and happiness. Joy. So there's a swift change happening here. Knight of Cups. Prince Charming doesn't know what to do. There's a lot of conversation going on. They could be venting. They might be like yelling. You're not in despair. The Fool. So we got a new beginning here. Yeah, we got a new beginning here. The King of Swords knows the truth about those who don't have any empathy. They're not going to be seeking pleasure anymore. They did not grow. Growth came out in the reverse twice, according to these ones. Those who embody the essence of the Sun, Most High, Mother, Father, God, Goddess, and the stars and the suns are calling judgment on this, and there's punishment here for what they have been doing to the light-bearing sweethearts whose purpose was to fill this realm with love and light and laughter and happiness and joy. And these ones did their best to just strip that out of her. Said it was evil. Said it didn't belong here. Vilified it. Called it evil. The services at this sweetheart was here to provide people with love and light. They insist she is malice. And you know, that's the strange thing. They look at this star, sweetheart, who is full of light and full of love. Ace of Cups, full of love. Queen of Cups. They look at her and they feel malice. They want to crush her. They love the idea of making her suffer. They feel so much hatred and so much malice toward her that they point at her and they say that it is her. Because to them, she's the source of malice, which they embody. Every time they look at this sweetheart star, they get angry and they say it's her fault when she didn't do a damn thing except exist sweetly with love. So because they have malice in them, when they look at her, they say that she is malice. Because they feel venom rising in them when they think of her and how they want to hurt her. They point at her and say, she has venom. It's wild. This projection stuff. There won't be any dates. So we got Lovers in the reverse. There will not be any connection to light-bearing sweethearts anymore. They're afraid of the sweetheart and the services that she's here to provide. There's no more dates for the sweetheart. No, there's disconnected. This energy here that was feeding, feasting, blaming this sweetheart star for the malice that they had inside of their own selves, and then punishing her for it, as coming to an end. The Most High Divine stated, never give it back. You will never give it back, and it doesn't even matter. God's here right now protecting the stars, the suns, the sweethearts, and he's got these kings out here helping him. King of Cups, King of Wands, King of Swords. They're all here. They know the truth. These ones who were punishing her were hostile about her empathy, about her ability to care, tap into the energy and sense their villain behavior. They did not like to be seen by love. They're hostile. Very, very negative. And they don't know what to do. This is entertainment. You're uninterested in the entertainment. Or you're uninterested in collaborating them with love. No more dates. No thanks. Whatever these entities are in this particular space are not aligned with the love and light and sweet happiness of these sweethearts. So the King of Wands is here. He's got the boundaries up. He's very courageous. His faith has been tested. He's here with his friends, and it looks like there's cheerfulness. It looks like there's a celebration, because we've got friends offering sage advice, and we've got friendly. So we've got friends and friendly sage advice. So he's making a last stand. He's weary. He's still happy. He's happy with these friends. He got good friends. There's been some research done on this Queen of Cups, this Divine Feminine, and her purpose. Somebody's all up in their thoughts. They didn't get the letter. They hid the letter. They ignored the letter. They hid the... Oh! They hid the letter outlining plans for the future. And it could be chaos for those who are positive. They were hiding the letter. They're all up in their thoughts about it. Like, they did not want Divine Feminine to fulfill the plans of her future, to walk into her destiny and her purpose. They did everything they could to turn her into a prostitute and a malicious murderer. They did all of that. Look, they're envious. So they're envious. Envious of her positive nature. And they were dishonest. They lied about her in order to bring chaos to her life. Yeah. So their secret, they twisted this. They twisted the perspective. They kept it secret. They're greedy, and they wanted to be welcomed into the safe space that was meant for her. They were bragging about being able to support people, and now they got bad news, and they're desperate because the truth is out. The truth is out, and they're very hostile towards those who are empaths. They were very negative toward them. And so, yeah, they hid the letter. Divine Feminine may have supposed to have gotten a letter. Somebody's all up in their thoughts. They hid a letter. They hid communications. Curious, in the reverse, they didn't want her to know. They hid it. They hid this information from Divine Feminine. So there's travel and there's goodbye. You're leaving this realm. You're going into a different dimensional space or frequency, a different something. Upon waking, I heard one of these jackwagons say, she keeps coming back. So it's like when you're sleeping, you go to your new home. And then you wake up to what? Tell some more messages, because you're dismantling this realm. This realm is being dismantled. And I think very soon you'll stop coming back. And then it's going to be like crispered. It's going to be like fried. It's going to be set on fire or something by the divine. I don't know. Something like that. Because I got a message the other day and I had asked if they were going to be setting things on fire, and I got yes. So yeah, it's like you're dismantling stuff, and then it's like it's going to be purified with fire. They're mad. They want this Queen of Cups to suffer, but they hid her purpose from her. They erased her mind over and over and over again throughout these many cycles of birth and death. They erased her mind, dressed up in her memories, and then pretended that they were that while they were feasting on her light, vampiring the light that they said was evil and didn't belong here. They trapped people who cared about children and family. I don't know if these people thought that they were going to actually do this. I don't know. We're going to have to, I don't know. Maybe you know. Yeah, no more accidents. The love of Divine Masculine. The wheel is turning. King of Cups is here. He's making the mind a safe space so that you can trust the messages that you are receiving. You're going to stop being called a whore, and you're going to stop being told that they're going to KID nap you and drain your endorphins and all of their shit. He's making it a safe space. There's not going to be any more danger. People are in disagreement regarding his victory over this conflict. He's very willful. He's got a lot of skill. He's successful. He knows that there's no greater goal than to love. He's not interested in hearing anything about what this professional widower has to say. Somebody who preys on the mind, P-R-E-Y. So there's some negotiations going on with the sun. Those people who did not grow in consciousness and awareness are yelling. They're all upset because you're not in despair, and there's a schedule. There's things happening here. They're very unhappy. You're not in despair. You're full of light. You embody the essence of the sun. You're this star. You're a healer. You're a super charger is what these adversaries call you. You're a supercharger. You bring life to everything. And they think that that's evil because they really like low vibrational, lustful, you know, mean girl and mean boy things. But they say they love you, but they're going to stick you in the heart anyway because, you know, you deserve it. You're too shiny. You're too damn happy. You know, I love you with everything that I am, but you got it wrong. Therefore, you need to do that, right? I mean, that's how it is. They say they love, but their actions and their energy is anything but. Evidence. So somebody's in doubt. They're in their emotions. They're feeling pretty weak because justice reversed is here. They're getting punished. They've been found guilty ×2. They're super dishonest. They sabotaged the gift. They clipped its wings, flipped it into soft mode, and then drove it into sin so that they could tell God or whoever that they were unworthy. This is an imposter who regularly sabotages sweethearts and love. There's evidence. So you're moving forward into an Ace of Cups love. You're here in service to help others regarding love and laughter. Happy, happy, happy. You're the supercharger. Like you bring life and happiness and well-being to everything. And these ones are so pissed because they thrive on suffering. So they say that you are their anger, their venom that they feel for you. They say that it's you. And it's, you know, they wouldn't be feeling this way if you weren't bringing it. And it's like, I'm sorry, man, but you're not responsible for the way other people feel, you know? It's just not that, that's not how it works. Friendship. Moving forward into love, into true friendship with laughter and lots of love. Helping each other. You know, when I was feeling bad or something, you know, I would be like, when I was in my youth, before I ever actually started to do the work, you know, I'd be mad. You're making me feel da-da-da-da. And people would say, I'm not responsible for the way you feel. That's your thing. And it's still true. So very quickly, there's a shift happening here for Mr. Romance, Mr. Charming. They don't know what to do about conversation. People are talking. They got to get something off their chest. They're sick about something. They're feeling weak. There could be a disease. There's a new beginning here. For the Queen of Swords, he knows that who has empathy. He's not allowing any pleasure seekers into this new chapter. They did not grow. Saving. He's saving the wealth and the security that belongs to devoted, high vibrational, happy love. I really don't care that somebody hates me. I'm not responsible for that. Although they're pointing at me and saying that it's my fault that they hate me. They don't have to watch these videos. They don't have to even think about me. It's like, okay, well, go find something happy to think about then. If I bring such misery, you know? Go be happy. So those who were bringing imbalance to the star are in fear of the service that this sweetheart provides. They're not going to get any dates. They're getting cast away. They have failed. No more dates with the sweetheart. No more dates with the sweetheart. The mind is going to be made to be a safe space. The intellectual property is going to be protected. The energy, the love, the happiness, the heart, the stability. King of Wands is here. He's got the boundaries up. He's creating really great boundaries. He's here with his friends. They're very happy. There's sage advice, kindness, justice. There's been a lot of research going on regarding the purpose of Divine Feminine, Queen of Cups. Somebody's all up in their thoughts. They hid a letter. They didn't want the Queen of Cups being curious about her purpose. They hid communications. They stole her mind. They hid the communications. They robbed her of her intellectual property, her source-connected communications. They robbed her of her mind. They stripped her of her memory. I heard in the spiritual courts, they've been zapping her with a nebulizer and extracting her thoughts, her communications. They stepped in as her and messed with all this stuff. They took from her her ability to communicate with the divine. And then they ran insanity and self-loathing, and then drove the, whether it be this feminine or other feminines or men, because you've got a lot of masculines out here who are right here. They know the truth. They're building boundaries. They're clearing the mind. They're making sure pleasure seekers don't get a marriage union with the stars. They're protecting the Queen of Cups, the love of this Divine Feminine, and they're doing so successfully. This sweetheart, she can just relax. She can relax. Her new family is putting a stop to this because there's perseverance. The promise has persevered. Yep. This coach who is teaching people how to create conflict with Divine Feminine, they're furious, man. They're so furious. They don't know what to do. It's like this strategy. Should I stay or should I go? I don't know. And they kept messing with this mind. Like they were infiltrating, robbing her of her divine communications. And I think that they were communicating as her while they had her trapped before she actually freed herself from the chaos. They tried to bind the blessing. But this is the conclusion, and we're getting ready because there's a big win here for Divine Feminine. Somebody was pretending to care, collaborating with you for indulgence sake. They were dreaming about trapping you, death, bringing death to the gift, and now they're frightened. Now they want to compromise. Now all that mental magic is back on them. That insanity that they ran through you, it's back on them. Now they're like, I'm sorry, because they're being rejected. They're being rejected by the sweethearts that they cursed. It's a miracle that you still have inner peace after all of that you went through. Alone, separated. But now you're together, you've reached your goals, you're here shining brightly, and you got these people, these third wheel enemies, these whoring, lustful haters of yours, insisting that the malice and the venom that they have inside of themselves for you is your fault, that it belongs to you. They think that the way they feel about you is your fault, so they want to punish you. But you are moving into the destiny here, like memory, history. Like this was planned. You're at the top of that mountain and you're moving into your destiny. You're reunited. You're a high value person. You got a life of luxury coming up. And these prideful people are stressing out because they were bullying you. They might even be embarrassed because now, yeah, they were bringing natural disasters to eternal love, or they were trying to, but the Most High God gave you assistance and you're okay and stable. And now they're protesting because they're experiencing loss, and these dominators are in a freaking nightmare. Boom. For doing magic against your marriage, against anybody's marriage, against marriage in particular. They were upside down gaining marriages, and then they were doing magic on it to curse them, flip them, and then replace them with a copycat, while the original was buried somewhere out there miles away from the nearest town, way up in the wilderness with nobody to talk to except for a dog. Okay, this is kind of what they did. They're very stubborn. They don't want to hear it. But you're moving into a new family tree. You've got your reward coming because you loved yourself into health, and it didn't matter what any of these people that were tempted to move against you say or do. It just doesn't matter what they say, because, you know, what they feel inside about you is not your responsibility. You're a sweetheart star. And they hate you. And they say it's your fault that they hate you because they have malice inside of themselves for you. They say that you are malice. It's so wild to me. They're projectionists. That's all they ever are. They feel inside, and then they say it's the outside's fault. They don't take any accountability for what's happening inside of themselves. And the only way that they'll ever be happy is if everybody stops talking and just works for them and feeds them and stuff. But they're still not happy. They go around treating people like they're a dime a dozen. They have no respect. They have no honor, morals, or ethics. They carry malice and venom with them wherever they go, and they're busy pointing at everybody else, shooting them full of malice darts. I'm going to go stick that one with my dart of malice. I'm going to go pour my venom into that person and then say that they are that. That's what they do. That's what they did. That's what they do. They will never, ever, ever obtain the supercharger again. Memory. So the mental body is being made a safe place. There's no more danger there that was there in the past. You might be gaining your memories back. The divine might be delivering you your memories back. These ones robbed you of your purpose, divine feminine. These masculines. And then their feminine's cohorts, their copycats. They have a skewed perspective, and you've got a victory over it. These people were using religion to mind F you with an upside down perspective. They're very dark, very rigid, very don't dance, don't sing, don't raise the frequency, and don't you dare ring those bells, you know? Don't you think too much, because they wanted to claim that space. But Divine Masculine has it. He's clearing it out. He's making it a safe space once more. We've got the victory here over the Magician. It could be you have a victory over the Magician who is bringing you conflict. It could be that Magician is a widower now. Maybe there's something happened there. I don't know. But whatever it is, you're successful. Whether you be a magician or whether they be a magician, ticket. But they were using religion with an upside down perspective on the minds of people. And this King of Cups, he's making it a safe space. Somebody is a widower. It could be that he's dealing with somebody who unalived their wife, a sacrifice. So there's negotiations going on with the Sun regarding rebirth. Regarding rebirth, those people who did not grow in consciousness and awareness are yelling. They're so mad because you're not in despair, and they can't bring it to you. And there's a plan here. There's some kind of management happening, and they're yelling, yelling, yelling. They're mad. They want to make an example out of this divine feminine for living because she dared survive. Luck. They're so upset. It was an impossible path and you made it. So now they're in raw emotion. Their pride is flipped. They don't have any energy. They're disconnected from the star. They can't draw off your energy. They can't draw off of your intellectual property or your gifts. They were clipping the wings of loving feminines, sabotaging them. The gift, there's evidence of it. They're guilty. Guilty as all get up. And there's no more, they can't bring wrath to the gift anymore. No more. They can't bring wrath to the gift. There's an end to the wrath that they were bringing to the stars and the suns, to those light-bearing people that they swore were evil and shouldn't be here. Them and their false stories, their false projections onto everything and everyone. You got a good thing coming here. You got moving forward into the Ace of Cups of love. You're in service. You feel good when you can help others. In love, we got lovers, we got laughter, we've got friendship, and we've got abundance. This abundance belongs to you, and these people are so pissed off. They feel so much malice that they've been trying to project their nastiness onto you. Flip and copycat, flip and copycat. That's what they do. They don't believe in God. I had somebody actually post on my page just today that Mother, Father, God, Goddess did not exist. It was only her, and the God of this world was Satan, and it was only her. And I'm thinking to myself, well, then why, if it's you, why didn't you do anything about the sex trafficking and what was happening to the children? I mean, I just don't understand that. If you really want to be that person, why did you let all this happen? And what they say is because it's Lucifer, and the light is Lucifer. It's not, and it's like, I'm sorry, man. There are beings that come from different star systems, and some of them come from beyond the sun. They carry a great energy within them, and there's nothing evil about it. The only evil thing about it is that these people full of malice and venom, they get sick in its presence. Release. So very swiftly, this romantic Knight of Cups here, Prince Charming, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. People are talking. They got to get something off their chest. They could be yelling. They're sick about something. They're sick and they're being released. So yeah, there could be an actual death, or there could be somebody released. Maybe you are released from it, from this death energy, this low vibrational, non-light energy. So there's a new beginning here. the Fool card, the King of Swords, he knows the truth. He can see, you know, with this light here, with everything exposed like this, he can see who doesn't have empathy. There's no pleasure seekers allowed. They're getting cut down by that sword. Those people who did not grow. We got saving. He's saving this thing, man. He's protecting, he's preserving the wealth of union. Routine. So this is a new routine. Day and night. Day and night. Everywhere you go, all over the world. So there's an imbalance here. There's no new love connections with these low vibrational entities and the star, the sweetheart. They're afraid of the service that the sweethearts will provide here, but they can't have a date. They're being cast away. They have failed. No more. They're getting detached. They're getting detached from the stars who are sweethearts. They don't like them. And they spent all of their time trying to hurt them. They're in grief. King of Wands has those boundaries up. He's with friends and they're all happy. It's like, woo! So they're taking sage advice. It's like, let's be friendly. Let's be happy. Be kind. Justice is happening here on behalf of kindness, on behalf of happiness, on behalf of love. Yeah, whoever this is that's been trying to destroy the sweetheart stars, they're getting messed up. They're getting messed up. And it's amazing to me that there's a whole bunch of misogynistic, narcissistic masculines out there who've been severely attacking the women and the children's sweethearts. But you've got the divine masculine rising up here and creating boundaries and making things right. But these nasty masculines, they're still so focused on this feminine. Make an example out of her. They're still so focused on her. And I guess maybe it's because she's shining a light. But you got all these suns too. These masculines are in the energy of the sun. Somebody hid. Somebody's hiding a letter. Somebody robbed the letter. Oh, heart bond. Somebody robbed her of her telepathic connection, of her heart bond. Somebody stole her heart bond. Somebody robbed it. She's here in a heart bond with purpose. Somebody was trying to hide the letter. They stole it. They were trying to rob it. They still are. They're there trying to rob it. There's information coming in, and they're hiding it. Or maybe somebody who was robbing this divine feminine and these divine masculines, maybe they're all up in their thoughts because they can no longer tap the letter. They can no longer get the information. They can no longer tap into the letter. They can no longer learn more. They can no longer receive the connections in the mental body that the divine is sending. They can no longer rob the thoughts of the sweethearts. Oh, they're mad. Yeah, you're soaring. You're out of here. You're way up here, man. And you know what? And these ones are a negative influence. They brought a negative influence to nature. They're being warned. Or they were, or maybe they're being warned. This territory will be balanced out. These ones have been exposed, and now they need to survive. They need to survive. There's a whole community anticipating play and planting seeds. Somebody's been bringing mischief to you, battling with you from a distance, dominating you for their own self-interest, feasting on your light, feasting on your brightness. But now, because you have grown and expanded and you reached for the edges of the limitless universes, hello, and you grew. It's like you expanded and you reached, and they said hello, and you're protected. Yeah. Communication. So those who were messing with the communications, casting illusion and upheaval as a team, they're going in a new direction. They were curious about you. They astral projected to your house. They spied on you, saw what you were wearing, saw what you were eating. How did you wear your hair? What time did you go to bed? And they mimicked you. And you're free of that. You are free of those who are committed to empty nests, who are resisting the gifts of the anomaly. The scavengers are at risk because of the trickery that they brought. You were the golden nugget. When they did this to you, the Divine Mother stated they lost their wish come true when they came for you. They put you in their little jar there, and now they're in fear because they're getting displaced. They're in the night. I heard one of them say, it's so dark. Yeah, it is dark because you're getting separated from the light. Those who bring life and light and everything happy, you know? Yeah, well, you didn't want it. Nobody wanted it. They wanted to unalive it. They wanted to feed it to the black hole. And so now they get their intention. I guess they get to go where there is blackness. They were a distraction in the sacred space. They were seen, and now there's preparations made for them to be isolated. And they can't do anything to you. They can't curse you. They can't hex you. Nothing is going to get on you. They're so angry. They're being commanded to do a thing, and it just isn't working. You've got this humongous family of light here, and nothing's going to happen to you, sweetheart. The next few days should be incredible. Something about the next 3 weeks. So by August 27th, whatever this is should settle. But it may be a little intense. So this is the message. I hope that it brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew. And I will see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.